You know that
We're on.
Dan
We're live.
Beaujean not being able to figure out the site was pretty funny when you told me maybe you should contact his brother-in-law. I'm like, oh yeah, it's
Well,
true.
why are you the guy he's talking to? Like when his brother-in-law is literally the guy who runs the site. So, so we are.
Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're 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 talking about hockey. And they're bald. And there's hockey. Hockey.
We should have set up a third little orange for Mark here.
Mark, yes.
I absolutely love that intro.
My brother-in-law does them. So when you set up your podcast, you can contact him, and maybe
Maybe he'll be kind enough to set us up with one.
that was my
Yeah.
Christmas present one year. So I
Oh,
don't know.
that's awesome.
Okay, DCHL, we are back and we have the newest BOG member. Congratulations, Mark, on winning your. Well, I don't know that I want to congratulate you, to be honest. Congratulations on all the stress and agony you're going to have to put up with for the next couple of years. Yay!
Congratulations on all the Xanax you're gonna have to take just to
Yes.
deal.
And the yelling your wife is going to do for you taking calls while you're on a walk with her or something like that.
I like to think I'm prepared, but we'll see when that time comes.
Okay, so you guys talk for a second while I set up the link
So,
on the site.
I was just cheering while the introduction was happening. I don't know if anybody could see me. It's because in another note, Derrick Henry just scored an 87-yard touchdown, and I have Derrick Henry in one of my pools.
Nice.
And Zach said that he won $400 because of that touchdown. So
No, did he?
good job, Zach.
Way to go, buddy.
Yeah. So that touchdown might put me over the and gets me a win this week. So we'll see how he finishes the game.
So Zach is having a good day. That's good.
Zach's having
I'm
a good
actually
day.
happy to hear that.
So, yep. Injuries are killing everybody though in fantasy football.
Oh my God. Like I don't even want to, I've stopped looking because I had Christian Watson today, like not even get a catch again. And he was left in the early in the game. So it's insane.
Yep. It's that time of year.
And it's not looking better for fantasy hockey with all the injuries in the preseason so far.
Yes.
Oh, did you see Patrick Laine? And how did that guy not get a penalty / suspended? Like that was
And
clear. Stuck his knee out. Clear as day. He stuck his
At the
knee
very
out.
least, he should have gotten interference or
but
something.
you know what the worst part is, Steve? He was interviewed because he's French Canadian. He was interviewed by RDS, and he said, "I can't let him come through the middle like that without doing something. I'm fighting for my NHL life." So
No, I get why.
and he's like,
I
the
get
guy
it.
has zero remorse for what he did.
Well, and that's the hockey system, right? Like that's the world of hockey. Is that because he's right? If he lets him through, he'll never see the light of the NHL. For that will haunt him for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
And now
Patrick
he'll just have
Laine,
images of Wi-Fi beating him up.
like
I
I don't
know.
know if they've said how long Laine's going to be out for, but
Oh,
that kind of an injury could be months.
yeah.
It could have taken him out for the whole year if it's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
ligament
And some
injury.
AHL schmo, and I get why he does it, but like the league's gotta do something on those, or NHL teams have to stop playing their good players for preseason. Like this
Yeah.
is Well, even Doughty the other day, right? Like good players are going down when it don't matter.
with big injuries. Like it's
Yeah,
not like this is a week to week. I think Doughty was month to month
yeah.
already, and Line's probably headed that way too.
Yeah, he is. Dowdy's in, like they said that it could have been worse, but it's he's gonna miss at least until the new year.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, I heard it's month to month. Like I like,
Yeah.
and that's just like again, I want the good players in the league. It's ridiculous. So I guess the other thing we can talk about, Jeff, since we're both Sens fans, is the Ottawa Senators goal. Okay, two things actually about the Ottawa Senators that stood out this week. Number one, I'll start off with I was probably wrong about Carter Yakimchuk because he has actually looked real like I didn't think he was a bad player. I never thought he was.
No,
I,
no.
I would have rather the Sens had taken other guys, and I think you and I have sort of had similar opinions on that. But holy shit, he's looked good in the preseason.
Yeah. I didn't hate the pick. I wasn't sure. And now watching him in the preseason, and I'm like, wow. And you know what the worst, like the funny part for me is the moves that he's pulling, they look slow as shit. And he doesn't look fast, but it works all the time.
Well, the overtime goal
Yes.
where I think it was Luke. Was it McCabe? Was it McCabe?
McCabe, and I don't know who the other defenseman was.
Marner was the other. Like Marner was the
Marty was
forward.
the other guy.
Yeah, and it was. I'm pretty sure it was Marner, but it was 100%. It was McCabe.
McCabe,
And
yes.
McCabe just kind of juked when he shouldn't have, and Carter saw it and said, "I'm going around you now,
Yeah.
sucker," and he just made him look like an amateur.
Yeah.
And the pass on the goal that he set up, like that
Yeah.
impressed me more than the overtime goal. What like the pass that he made
Hmm. Yeah.
was wow, wow. I
Very,
should have
very
called up.
impressed. I'm
So
happy as a Sens fan. I wasn't sure when they drafted him. I didn't hate the pick, but I was like,
I'm I am first to admit that I may have been wrong about that. Like I wasn't to me, it wasn't picking him. It was the guys they left on the board, like Steve Bayum and Dickinson. Like wow,
yeah,
I wanted one of those two, but
yeah,
we'll see. But I might be wrong. The other thing is, Sen's goalie made a statement game. And he had basically an AHL team in front of him, and he was like they were outmatched against Buffalo.
29 shots in one and a half period and
He was
28 saves.
amazing.
Who is the goalie?
Allmark.
Linus Ulmark.
Oh yeah.
He was amazing. Like, and if he plays like that this year, if that's the kind of goaltending the Sens have, where it's just like, I'm gonna keep you in the game.
Yeah.
You guys figure it out, but I'm gonna keep you in the game. Then
So at least
that'll
now
be nice.
they won't start the game down 1-0 every game,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Okay, so
So,
now that Mark has apparently disappeared off our screen, there he is.
Sorry about that.
We're gonna get started with the Pacific Division, our last division, and I don't know. Is the plan to do a show next week where we maybe talk about awards and playoffs and who we think's going to win? Way too early
yeah.
prediction that way.
Yep.
I'm gonna have
I
to go
think so.
back and look at what I predicted in each division. I'll
I
predict
think
some
so. I
team
think
not
that'd be
making the
good.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so alphabetically, this will be easy because Anaheim is the first team, and we will talk about the Anaheim Ducks. I was actually, when I was looking at this, I was concerned, not really concerned, but I was like, wow, they only have $4 million in cash.
And you know what? He was all season last year with no cash. and he finished the season above 500 in the green.
Well,
So
he's got no like he's below the minimum amount of money he's gonna make.
he
So he
he
should probably
was all season last year. He had like, I think he had 3 or 4 more. Like at one point, he had less than $1 million. So
I
yeah,
think
well,
he went to
wasn't that
sign.
the one issue because he made a trade for money and he didn't have the money to pay for it, so he
yeah,
had to yeah.
yeah. So he ended up with the money. So he
Okay,
knows
so
about it. He knows the system. I'm not worried.
well, and the next part when I looked at his prospects, I was like, oh yeah, he's got some stuff here. He's got some stuff here.
So,
I think we'll have to wait a few years on some of them, but
yeah, I think the one thing that I like about is well, I think Dan does his homework, and he knows his stuff. So he's not afraid to draft late first and early second or in the second round because he knows he's going to be able to get some quality players. So,
yeah.
what do you think, Mark?
Yeah, no, I agree. He has I'm looking at his list right now actually, and he has a few guys that I would have drafted. Um Looking at Aaron Kiviharu and Teddy Stiga. I remember I really liked him.
Yeah, no, I think he was on a lot of our lists actually, Teddy Steven. I
Yeah,
know he was on mine.
he was
So
such a good player. I would imagine he was on most GM's lists. Um, but I think he's done a good job at building up. I think like he does a lot of forward drafting. I don't see a lot of D-men. Oh no, there's Nora Warren right in front of me there. But I didn't see a lot of D-men that he had coming up the pipeline there.
well, he will reach on, and I'm air quoting reach because like I like Teddy Stiga he took in the first round, and Teddy Stiga was a mid to late second round guy, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Kiviharu he took in the second round, but that was like a fourth round or third round pick.
Yeah, I think he ended up slipping to the fourth, but he was projected second in a lot of lists
Yeah.
in the
So
second.
he will take guys when he wants them.
Yeah, but I think he had to with Stiga because otherwise, I think too many GMs were going to take him at the beginning of the second. He wasn't going to slip to his next pick.
Yeah. Okay. And he did actually get his oh, we'll look at the finances next. Patrick Line, who we were just talking about, uh, is an RFA this year. I don't know. Jean will have to announce what his contract is. I don't know.
I think he has
So
2 years with the
He's
Habs.
still in the 8 million, so his contract is going to be high for next year.
but I've always been a Line fan, so I hope he pulls it together this year. And really hoping that injury does not take too much on him. Joseph Wall looks like he might be like the starter in Toronto in a couple of years. So
Yeah, and next year's contract should go down, right?
you have to stick with whichever is higher.
Okay, so then it would be now 5.2 million. Yeah, I always forget about that.
Yep. And those are the only two real big ones that he's got.
Yeah.
So okay, now to the depth chart, where I was happy to see that his lineup was better than I thought it would be. Like
Yeah,
I
it
do
looks real
like
good on paper.
that's not bad. And Nyquist is a guy that performs well. I've had him for years. He's a sim guy. He does
Yeah.
very well. He had an 80-point season with me one year.
Wow.
So
That's
yep.
He's never sniffed that in the NHL, I think.
Nope. But he was also playing with uh Ovechkin. So
Okay.
I never wanted to go with Novechkin as the name of that line. So
So
but yeah, I mean this is not a contending team for sure, but it is better than I thought it would be.
he's got some decent guys coming up. Like he's got Nemec, Byram, uh, Mayu. So And his goalies, as we mentioned, Wall and Anunan, I expect will be much better. So he's got guys coming up.
Yeah.
With some potential.
Well, and Brossois is going to be the starter this year, I think, right?
Yeah, for him, yes.
Well, no, in the NHL, I thought wasn't he? Because Vegas isn't he in Vegas now? Where is he now?
No, I don't think he's in Vegas. I think he's in Chicago.
Oh, he was going to be the starter in Chicago. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Calgary is next. Surprised that they have so much cap space for the players that they have.
Well, it's this year. Is last year where he's saving money on quite a few guys. So next year is going to be the year where he gets into the San Jose territory, where he's going to have to do make some trades to get rid of some cap space next year.
And he's not afraid to make trades too, though. So
no,
I'm sure he'll trade Connor McDavid for the same thing he got for him.
That he paid for him, yeah?
Yeah. He'll trade him back to San Jose for exactly the same deal.
I'm sure you will.
Okay, so hey, there's where Boston's first round pick ended up. I don't know, nothing really.
Not a lot over here,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't expect a lot since he's one of the top teams in the league. Eh?
He does Hunter Bruskevich though, which I'm very high on myself.
Well, he's a Calgary Flames prospect, so that doesn't surprise me.
And he's a Flames fan too, so it makes sense looking at his list, some of the guys that he has there.
Yeah, I have to say, like with Hunter, I just worry that I want to make sure. I don't know that his game will translate to the NHL. Like he's definitely dominant in the OHL. I just don't know. Like I remember when he was up being drafted, that was always my concern was will his game translate? So although he had a great year last year.
I have the same opinion. Everybody knows how I feel about guys that are 6 feet or smaller for defensemen, and he's just barely 6 feet.
Yeah. Okay, so finances. This is what Jean's talking about here. Connor McDavid. That's going to be a big hit, I assume.
Yeah. But it's not going to go that much higher than the 11.7 million. And neither is Cousins. But where it's going to start to hurt is Carlo is going up to 4.5. Lafreniere is not moving, but Raymond is going up to 8.
Rasmus
Carrier is going to 4.5. And then so they're starting to all go up, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he won't be able to run with the same team next year for sure.
No.
He's going to have to make some moves.
So.
Like this will become a very top-heavy lineup.
Exactly.
Okay, and depth chart. I mean, when you look at it, wow.
So
living the dream.
Really drops off at defense, though.
Yeah.
Really drops off after the third defenseman.
I agree. He needs to add to his defense. But this is a team that if you're not doing well, if you're at the bottom like I am, him and Vancouver, I think you need to look at how they rebuild it because their team. Because Calgary wasn't always at the top.
Nope.
Like I remember when I joined the league in 2018, he had a decent team, but he didn't have the team that he has now. So.
Well, he won the draft lottery in the Lafreniere year, and he picked first and third, I think it was.
Yeah.
He got Stützle and Lafreniere. Like that kind of thing doesn't hurt either, right? So
no. And he got Cousins also. So, but remember when we talk about being patient, this is what being patient is.
Yeah.
And that's a message I'm giving to myself when I look at that.
And any other GM who may be watching and may have heard the words "be patient" before.
Yeah. Because quite a few, or even over the last few months, I'm like, oh, maybe I should try this. Oh, maybe I should try this. Looking at that team with Cousins, Stutzla, and Lafreniere, even though Lafreniere hasn't turned out to be as good as we expected him to be.
I think he's
Well,
still
he
got the
wasn't.
best forward group, like one of the best forward groups in the league.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he will be. He's been taking longer
Yeah.
for first pick overall.
Yeah. Well, and the Connor McDavid trade was, I mean, definitely a good trade for him as well.
Yep.
So,
Oh, he's made some good trades. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need to look at what he's done to get him there.
well, he built up a lot of assets and used those assets well to get Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the patient part of it that other GMs need to understand, like yourself and myself included. Like I'm just saying that if you're not patient and you try to make those moves before you have enough assets, you're just taking away from your
Well,
own team.
I'll just use like Mark. Who did you draft this? Oh, you didn't have. Did you have a high draft this pick? No, you have Carlson, right? You have Leo Carlson.
No, this draft I drafted 18th, I think. I got Green Tree.
Okay. No, last year you drafted Fantilli, right?
Fantilli. Yeah,
Okay.
Fantilli.
So let's say you try to trade Fantilli now, you're going to get a lot less for Fantilli now than if you wait 2 years, where he's a power forward that is getting like a point a game or more.
Oh, 100%, because he hasn't proven anything in the NHL yet. He can hardly keep top line. And that's the thing with some of these prospects is you have to wait. You have to wait until they're what they're supposed to be, because otherwise, like, any GM who trades for them will know that they're not there yet. You're not going to get the same value.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Calgary is done. We'll
Not to
move.
mention also, sorry, one last note for
Well, go
Calgary.
ahead.
They have one of the best goaltenders in the sim with Hellebuck.
yes.
Yeah.
So that gives them a strong hand up too in the Pacific.
That was quite the trade for him to pick him up, eh?
Yeah.
He got him from Edmonton, didn't he?
Yeah, and I just like, for example, Jean, I could not imagine you and I ever coming to an agreement on a trade like that.
I don't really remember what the trade was, but it was with Edmonton. It was with Bob.
It was, Bob's his uncle, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it like some sort of family discount? Was it quite the
No, I just realized I made a joke when I said Bob's his uncle.
So yeah.
Maybe I should title that for the episode.
He got Barzal, DeSmith, Eleniak for Denko, Fleury, Bennett, Eberle, Mangiapane. So yeah. You got a family discount on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Moving on?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, the Edmonton Oilers, speaking of Bob's my uncle, only $571,000 in cash. But fortunately for him, he doesn't have much in payroll. So he will, if he doesn't do anything, he'll still turn a profit.
But he's going to have to acquire some cash.
Yes. Well, does he have, we'll get to that later, but does he have RFAs that need to be signed? No, he traded Cole Perfetti. I traded him, Cole Perfetti, for Aaron Ekblad.
Oh yeah, he's got 1, 2. Well, the RFAs that he needs to sign is nothing much to write home about.
Oh, look at all these former Seattle prospects he's got on his list here. My boy, Brad Lambert.
Seattle draft picks. Look at that. It's got the Seattle's first for the next for 2026, 2027, and a second.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Like, man.
So
Okay. Brad Lambert. I like Brad Lambert. Cole Eiserman. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a wait and see. Like he could be great and he could be a bust
He could be
somewhere
great, or
in
it
the
could
middle.
be Jacob Perreault.
Yeah.
yeah, true.
Owen Beck. I think well, I know Jean and I both like Owen Beck, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be a middle six at best, like a
Yeah, I think
third
he was
line center.
projected third or fourth line.
Yeah.
Does he play a hard style game?
No, he's a smart player, smart with the puck, position, good, plays good position, good on the counter attack. So
I think like
creates offense through defense, but he'll
like he just
never be a top scorer.
yeah, like I'm thinking Todd White, if you can remember back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a little bigger than Todd White was. Okay, so yeah, I mean, for a guy that was in the playoffs not too far back in time,
Well, didn't he make it to the finals?
was it this year?
Yeah, I think he lost to Buffalo in the finals this year.
Or why do people do this? Gage and Bob should have a support group meeting or something.
I'm pretty sure he made it to the finals.
I don't want to look at that. It'll just upset me. Oh, there's his. You know who's had a good preseason I've seen with Pugliarvi?
Where do you end up landing now?
Was it Pittsburgh?
Is he on
Still in
Pittsburgh now?
Pittsburgh, yeah.
I know I watched him in one game and he was good. So I guess I can't really say it's the whole preseason's been good. The one game I watched, he was good. But yeah, I mean,
It's a
nothing really
rebuilding
big here.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost a lot of big names in the offseason.
Yeah. He
Yep.
went for it this year. He made it to the finals. Like he's rebuilding.
Yeah.
Like
He lost,
somebody else we know.
Yeah.
he lost Horvat, Ekblad, Zibanejad, Stone, Forsling, Eberle, Hedman, and Bennett.
No.
Okay,
That's
so let's look at his depth chart, which he hasn't done. But I mean, this is a bottom tier team.
Yeah.
Again, another team who might finish in the bottom part of the league, mostly because of the division he's in.
Yeah, and his goaltending isn't very strong either, so that's going to hurt him.
Well, didn't he just put Alex Lyon on the block too? So
Yeah, I think so, but he probably has John Gibson as his number.
Gibson's been traded.
Gibson was traded.
rumor has it that there has been a deal worked up with another team in the West that you might not
That
believe
is in the
this.
Northwest. It's very close to Vancouver.
Yeah,
Just south of Vancouver.
yeah.
Just south of Vancouver.
If you can see at L, and maybe I'll be there. Okay, so yeah, Edmonton bad. LA. Didn't
Okay.
LA have a lot of cash a while ago?
Yeah, he did, but no. But
Not
look
so
at
much.
LA. His payroll.
He's over the cap, but that could be preseason.
Yeah, but I've looked at his team. To me, he's got to make a trade.
Why?
We won't go there right away because we need to go through his futures.
Okay. Well, here's his 2025 prospects. Yes, your fourth round pick, huh?
Yes.
Uh, he's surprisingly for a guy who hasn't had many picks, he's got some 8s and 7s in here.
So,
but nothing.
One guy I like on his team is Bogdan, and I'm going to let you say it, Steve, because I'm going to butcher that name.
Gonyushkov. Kanyushkov,
Venushikov?
sure. I have no recollection of him from the 2023 draft. Was he an off the board guy or was he a?
No, 18-year-old. He's like he's a small defenseman, but very smart and like around 6 feet tall, 5'10", 5'11".
Oh
Oh,
wow,
so if he's getting your praise, he's got to be good.
yeah.
He is very good.
You know, we know how you feel about small defensemen.
I know.
Jean never really has done a good job
And
of making people aware of that.
I know. And at the end of the show, when we're done, I need to talk about a guy that I just saw play twice, and I was just looking for him on the ice. He was so good, and he's 16 years old.
How tall? Well, he's 16. He's probably like
He's
just a little boy.
5'9", 5'8",
Wow.
5'9" defenseman.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so finances. Kevin Fiala. I feel like Kevin Fiala would be making more than 2.8 million.
So,
How much is Kevin Fiala making?
oh, isn't he like 7 or 8 million
I would think.
in the NHL? Well, let me take a look. You keep looking at that.
Yeah, that's the only contract that's coming up. So, but I would have to think that Kevin Fiala would be.
7.8.
There you
7.8.
go. So
So,
that's gonna be one that's gonna cost him a bit.
but look at the team now. He's got his 12 forwards, his 6 defensemen, and his 2 goalies, and he's at $84.9 million.
Is
He's
he?
like he's like $1.4 million over the cap.
Oh yeah.
Like, and even if he drops Sean Corelli, he needs to pick up somebody.
Well, he can't drop somebody if he
No, but
doesn't
if
have.
he puts him in the minors, he's got to bring somebody up, right?
Well, yeah, if he sends Corrali down, he's got to bring up.
And
He's got
like,
to drop $1 million, and he can't. He can't have a $400,000 player. So
and he's 1.414 over the cap.
assuming that
So,
you're right that it's 12 forwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's 12 forwards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 defensemen, 2 goalies. He's in trouble.
and his backup is making like less than $700,000.
Yeah.
So
Well, call me, JL.
he's gonna have to do something.
Actually, I can't take any cap, so. Okay, so and let's look at his depth chart. I believe he had his done. No, he hasn't done it since UFA.
He
Shame
said
on him.
he's gonna do it tonight as soon as he gets home. I
Well,
reached out
sorry,
to
JL,
him.
but we can't stay on and wait that long.
I
Our
know,
loyal listeners and followers demand us to be on earlier.
I know. So
This is a top, like one of the top
very good
teams.
team,
Yeah,
very good team.
I, I can't criticize this team really that much.
Yeah,
If
and yes, he's. I don't have him finishing in the top 2, and it's only because of the division he's in. And he could finish in top 2 or in the top of the division, and I wouldn't be surprised because he's got a very good team.
yeah, top to bottom, and he's got our boy Linus Allmark. So
Yeah.
okay, and that is it for LA, and that brings us to San Jose.
Hey.
And I have never been more sure that a team has not completed their depth chart than I am about San Jose.
Yep.
So
Even
I'm just gonna go
I
ahead.
reached out to him.
And did he get back to you?
I know. I got
Okay.
crickets.
Okay, well, there you go. Team future. You got 2 first round picks though.
Yeah.
I suspect that extra first round pick won't be anywhere early.
No, I don't think so.
But
So
yeah, go ahead.
I like Matthew Savoy, and then the rest of it, there's nobody that really stands out to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, not really.
well, kind of going back to our conversation last week with St. Louis. This is a team that, if he wanted to tear it down, could rebuild back up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because he's still got some, and he wouldn't have to, like, I wouldn't trade away the goalie. I wouldn't necessarily trade away some of the top guys, but he could trade away some players. Ryan McDonough, Chris Letang,
JT
take
Miller.
take the
I
hit
think
this year.
I think the guy that he could get the most that's not going to hurt him so much is JT Miller.
You can even trade McDonough with retention, and I think he'd still be able to get something really good back.
Well, I don't know. Like, I talked to him at some point about acquiring JT Miller, and he was like, no. So, and maybe that's changed. I don't know, but
But to me, is like he needs to, like, he's got a good team, but he didn't make the playoffs last year. And I don't think he's making the playoffs again this year.
well, okay. Like, I have, like, he's definitely on the line, but I don't think he's in the playoffs either. But he's not that far off. But
No, no, no. And it's like if he was in the Atlantic, he's making the playoffs. Just that he's in a tough division.
for sure,
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's just on the cusp.
Yep.
I think this is the team where you trade a few of these guys away and take your lumps this year and come back a couple years with some much better players and a much better situation with your cap. But I don't know.
I mean, he's got the good young pieces to build around with
Yeah,
Quinn Hughes, and
yeah.
he has Nick Suzuki. I don't think he's all that old. 25.
Yeah, he's got a lot, and I think it's just I don't want to say mismanagement. It's just letting it ride instead of analyzing it where it is and making decisions based off of that for what it's worth. And I like Caden Gooley too. So, um, anything else on this? Like, he's got Kaprizov. I assume Kaprizov's going to be a big hit. I have no idea about Chidel. I have no idea about Roslovic. He's got to be worth more than he's got to be in like the 3.5 or 4 million or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just move on.
Kaprizov goes up to 9 mil.
Yeah, so
So he only goes up 600K for
Yeah. But he's got tons of cap space, so
yeah.
because he's losing
Okay.
Tang, McDonough, and
And
Paul.
there's his depth chart, all perfectly done and completed, like all GMs are supposed to do. The nice thing is he's done nothing, so it's easily stacked in the unassigned column for us to look at.
And he's got a good team. It's just needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Yeah, like we said, I think if he trades away a few of those old guys, misses the playoffs this year, but he brings in guys that are going to be good in the next few years. Like, is Savoy going to make Edmonton this year in the NHL?
No, I think he probably has another year
Mm-hmm.
before.
Well, they might. Aren't they really close to the cap? Still?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Yeah, see, that's why I was asking, because I thought they acquired him to keep him because he'll be a low cap salary guy.
Well, maybe.
So
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so Jean, here we are. I am going to go.
Tuesday.
I'm going to stop screen share here. I'm going to call up the screen share that we were sent by the GM. Well, no, I'll come back to it. We'll do we'll do it the way we've done with everybody else. So
Okay.
we'll go here. We'll look at Seattle's cash situation. I think he has
Because
more cash than
Zach
this.
sent us an updated list as of the start of the season for his
Yeah.
depth chart because he's got a couple trades that are not in yet.
Yeah. So he's got a little more cap space and a little more money than what
Yeah.
this. Um, I don't like. Let's just move on to team future. I
I'm very surprised to see his draft picks depleted as much as they are.
yeah.
That's looking a little bit like Boston.
And he decided that he wanted to win now. He wanted to compete now.
Yeah.
I think that decision, quite frankly, is going to hurt his team drastically in 2 years down the road. Like he's going to be in a fight to make the playoffs this year. I personally am not comfortable saying he will make the playoffs, but his team has just got like he had the startings of a good prospect pool, and I feel like I'm looking at the kitchen after a bunch of teenage boys have just raided through after hockey practice.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
He's got some
Ryder
good
Ritchie,
prospects
his
sitting in
best
there, though.
prospect.
EJ Emery, I really like him.
yes.
Yeah, but
Huge
EJ
fan of
Emery
Emery.
is like okay. John and I both love EJ Emery, but he is at best 4 years away from
Yeah.
like
And
from the NHL. I think. Like,
and he's a fourth defenseman at most
yeah,
to me. I
yeah,
love the guy. I think he's going to make the NHL, and I think he's going to be an effective defenseman for 15 years.
yeah.
If he's your number 2 or number 3, you need some help on defense.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But him or Ryder Ritchie are the best prospects in this pool, and like I don't dislike either of those two prospects, but
But there was a time when Iserman was in there too,
in Ginla,
and Tijigila.
like yeah, I
Yeah.
and like I said this to Zach several times. I hope it works, but I've also suggested that I'm not so sure it will. So finances. Okay, well, let's switch over to the other. Well, no, because he doesn't have all the players. Um, okay, Stamkos is gone in a deal that will be made after the season starts.
Yep.
Uh,
Oh, see,
every
I
time
didn't
I
see
look at
that
this
coming.
Yanni Gord contract, Cole Perfetti's got a raise, but it's not too bad. I think he's 3.5 million or something like that.
Yeah. 3.5, 3.5, 3.25.
Yeah, something in there for sure. Which is actually a pretty good deal. Like that'll work out well for him. Anybody else that's oh yes, the Owen Tippett.
Yes.
He has to start with Owen Tippett in the minors because he would be over the cap with him.
Oh, okay. There's a reason he's down there. I thought maybe he was just after the trade he got placed there.
Yeah, and I believe Henry Thrun has been traded as well.
And you said that he traded for a goalie?
Yeah. For John Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go. Let's just skip right ahead to the other thing. I know Zach's watching, so
Yeah.
hi Zach.
He's been waiting.
Love you, buddy.
He traded. I thought he sent me. Did he send it?
So this is the roster. Cole Caulfield, Jamie Benn, and Owen Tippett will be his top line, which isn't awful. Not great, but certainly in his division, it's not going to be one of the top ones. Perfetti, Yanni Gourde, and Riley Smith. Second line. Sam Steele, Fogley, Drew O'Connor, Brazeau, Lazar, Daniel Sprong. And I think his biggest problem is on defense after Charlie McAvoy. It's
Yeah.
like that's not a good def. That's not a good D.
It's going to be porous. You better hope that John Gibson's going to make some saves for you.
Yeah. So I don't know. Jean, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm distracted. There's two fights happening between Pittsburgh and Ottawa in Sudbury. It's a hockey night in Sudbury on a Saturday night.
Valtteri Puustinen and Linus Ullmark.
Don't see. I think Samuel Poulin was one of them for Pittsburgh.
Always
McEwen,
good when
I
you
didn't
see a
see
guy
the other
who's
two
had
guys.
concussion problems get into a fight, eh?
So, but you guys didn't get my reference to stomping Tom Connors there, hockey night and on a Saturday night in Sudbury.
Well, it's Sunday.
No, I didn't catch that.
So sorry, I can't sing like Stomp and Tom. This is Tom and Tom. But
Maybe it's just
Sorry.
my
I know
retention
you
of the
have trouble
lyrics.
saying names, Jean, but I
I
didn't
know.
think Tom was going to be one of
I
the ones
know.
you had trouble with.
I know.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we don't
I
need to
think
talk about it.
you know what? He wants to try to win now. So he's improved a lot. So he made the decision to go for it. So now he's got to,
Well, let's see if it
gotta
pays
go
off
for it.
for him. I always admire someone who wants to try to go for it rather than try to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But he
needs-
just
is
gave
always
up
at
so
what
much.
cost?
He gave up
At what
so
cost?
much.
Yeah.
He gave up so much.
Yeah.
Like Tijagin and a first round pick for Owen Tippett. That's like you're gonna have to I want a 10-minute debate on whether the Luke Hughes and a first round pick for Carter Hart which trade is worse. Ready, go. Like he'd done well getting assets. He had done well getting all the first round picks. He had done well.
So
Yeah.
the one thing that I think Zach has learned is that he can't try to rebuild because he's not going to be patient enough. So if you decide to trade away your assets and try to acquire some prospects, do it with the intention to rebuild quickly, like flip
The
them.
idea is to get better. When you're giving good assets, you have to get better. If you're kind of just depleting in value but staying sort of at the same level,
But
you're actually losing in the long term.
if he's only acquiring Owen Tippett's, he ain't getting there. If he's given up a first round pick in Tijagin to get Owen Tippett's, he's not gonna get there, boys. Like that's
So I understand his eagerness to trade Tej because you don't know if he's gonna make it. I get it, but at the same time, if he does, I think he's better than Tippett, like more than not.
well, would you have given up more than Owen Tippett to get Tijagin and Seattle's first round pick?
I mean, I probably would have if I really like. I thought about trading for Tej. If he was with the Flames, I probably would have done it. But with Utah, he will make the NHL faster than he would have the Flames, anyways. I think that's just
It's making Jean uncomfortable to discuss
Yeah,
this trade,
it's
and
okay,
I appreciate
but-
that. Like,
But it's like, to me, there's a value for Tippett's contract.
Yeah.
And like
no
Tippett
doubt.
has been at close to 30 goals scored the last 2 years. He keeps getting better. So like his rating overall, if he has another decent game, his rating is going to keep getting better, and he's going to be a better player, DCHL player.
it also crosses the checkbox get better now. Because
Yeah.
yes, with Tippett, he gets better now.
But
And
what
likes
he
And
his
it's
gave
power
up,
play.
1.4
what
million.
he gave up exceeded what he will get. It exceeds what he will get.
But it is Zach, so maybe he'll trade it and get something better than that. Who knows?
Or it is Zach, and maybe he'll be impatient and not. And I'm not trying to, like, honestly, I'm not trying to shit on him, but it's got to be, you gotta be patient on these trades. Like, you got to be patient.
Yeah.
So
It's
anyway,
okay to say no to a deal every once in a while.
we have one more team to go over here, and
Two
it
more.
is
No, one more.
Vancouver. Oh no, we have two more.
Two more.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Vegas.
Forget about
I
our
forgot
boys in
about you
Vegas.
guys.
Yes.
Okay, in the quite possibly most improved team of the year.
So I think I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. If you're rebuilding and you're you're almost there, or you're wondering how you're going to get better, go back to 2021, 2022 and see how what Jean did. Because he was at the bottom of the league. He was a rebuilding
Just
team.
look at his trades.
Look at his trades, look at the moves he
This
made.
is where he acquired a whole lot of assets
Yeah.
that he moved to get high end players now. And he had all these assets he had acquired. He had drafted, he had brought in and traded away for futures, and those futures are these players. Like he
He was at the bottom of the league.
Swayman will really
look what
help
he
this
gave up
team.
for Swayman.
Yes.
Caulfield.
And what
who's
I
first?
love is he saw where the weakness was, and he went all in on Swayman.
And did he really drop down in quality offensively with Sam Reinhart over Caulfield? I don't think so. Like, I
No.
think that he kind of stays where he was at. He got I think Swayman is an RFA, right?
Yep.
So he's got a goaltender under lock and key for the next 6-7 years, however long he wants to keep him, and he stayed offensively relevant with Reinhart.
Like,
The
to his credit,
the only guy that I wasn't sure about was Josh Norris because of injuries.
Yeah.
Because that's a big ticket to take on, and he gave up a first, a second, net cash. So,
But how much was that for like Romanov though?
yeah, maybe.
Because I like value Romanov, I think, a little more than Norris. Like, but Norris has huge upside, right? Like he's just injuries. So
yeah, true. You got Romanov for as an RFA for 2.3 million.
Yeah,
in 4 years.
And he's a pretty solid defenseman. So
yeah.
Okay. So, anything else on this?
Very good team.
Yeah, we'll just skip ahead to this because his team futures are.
He doesn't have a lot left.
He's cleared the cupboards pretty clean
because he cleared his prospects to compete now.
The Charlie Coyle contract. I don't know that I like that one when it was signed.
But when I spoke to him about that, because I was like, really, $9 million for 2 years on Charlie Coyle, and he said he needed a second line center, and Charlie Coyle is a really good sim player, and he gives him a second line player, and he had the cap space.
And he picked him up in FA though, right? So odds are he got bid up to probably around that.
Yeah. It's UFA, you got to pay the price.
Yeah. Especially for centers. I find that centers kind of tend to get inflated, especially if you're trying to get your number 2.
Yeah.
Has Moritz Seider signed a?
Yeah, he signed a couple days ago.
He's an over 8 million in Tua also, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's gonna hurt.
So he's gonna be in trouble because he's got Seider at 8 million
and
Konechny signed for a lot also, right?
8.5 mil for
Yeah.
Moritz.
And Konechny, I thought was, did I see 9 million for Konechny?
5.5.
That he re-signed for 8.875
Wow.
starting next year.
So he's going to have some.
So when he signs him, though, is he gonna have to sign him at the 5.5 or the 8.75?
The
8.75.
8.77, whatever the latest contract was,
The
unless
latest
the
contract.
DCHL is higher.
So, and then he's got Werenski,
Werenski.
who's up there also, right?
He's got to be up in the nosebleed section.
Werenski is 9.5.
So
So
yeah.
this is the year that Vancouver needs to win,
Yeah.
because next year he's got
Well, he's losing Hedman,
yeah,
and he's gonna these guys are gonna put him way over the cap.
yeah.
So he's gonna have to move guys. That's for sure.
Well, wait, the cap is going to be 88 million next year. This is based on 83 million, right? 83.5. The 63
Yeah.
million that he's got left.
Okay, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose the eight. Okay, he's got 63, but he's also signing what's his face to 7 million more. So that's
Well,
gonna be
let's
at
let's
70.
go 8 million times 3 there. Just to round it out.
Yeah, but you got to subtract what they. Okay, you're
24 million.
24 million,
So put him
That's
at
87
87.
right there.
87 million, and he's going to need
He's
two
going to
more.
need a Victor Hedman,
Yeah,
a new defenseman.
and he's going to need Kaliev. So
But Kaliev is actually getting paid less now.
Yeah, I
so
don't
he's
know.
going to be. He'll need a defenseman. He'll need to shed some money
For sure.
next year.
Okay, and
But I think Vancouver's thinking about now anyways, and I think they're trying to win because that's what it looks like with their
Exactly.
team.
So
okay, so
he's not in that much trouble, but he's gonna have to make some moves.
well, for sure. Vegas. They're over the
You
cap.
don't want
Are
to look
they
at his depth
over?
chart?
What?
Did
Oh,
we
sorry.
look at the Vancouver depth chart, or did I miss
No,
that?
you didn't. There it is. He
Very,
has like
very
one
good
of the
team.
top lineups in the league, like no doubt,
Yeah.
top to bottom.
Look at that defenseman, like those defensemen. It's like
Yeah, to have
um,
Suter as your 7th defenseman really hurts.
Well,
Yeah.
he's
He's
done a good job this year. He's done a good job.
and look at that. He's got the Sim King on his bench. James Reimer. He's got him in the minors.
The only player in DCHL history to play every game in an entire season. And the only goalie.
So, okay, Vegas.
Now Vegas. Okay.
Lots of cash in Vegas, eh?
Well, I guess maybe they got a roulette table in the dressing room. Yeah, but he's over the cap. Is he legit over, or is it just he's testing some guys out?
No, he's
His
got
roster.
he can make space. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defensemen on his team. And more than 12 forwards.
Oh, here's where my buddy Gavin Brindley is. Oliver Moore.
Jack Hughes.
The other Jack Hughes.
The other Jack Hughes.
Well, he's got both Jack Hughes.
Yeah, but in his prospect
Oh, no.
really has.
No, he traded him for McCarr.
Trevor Connolly.
Yeah, well, no comment, Trevor Connolly from me. No, they've done a good job of drafting. Corey's assistant GM does a good job. He's a
Yes.
good boy. Finances, Jack Eichel. Ooh, that one's going to be costly.
Well, not that much more than 9 million. Is he over 9 in the NHL?
Let me pull it up.
I think his contract comes up this year, doesn't it?
10.
10 million. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it comes up this year.
Yeah, it's 10
No.
million until 2025, 26.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he will sign him at 10 mil.
So that's not, and he's saving 12 on Markstrom. So he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anybody that's coming up that's going to receive a major raise.
No, but they'll have to replace Markstrom, which will
Yeah.
cost them a pretty penny in free agency to
Well,
get that kind of.
he's got Aiden Hill
Yeah.
and Wallstead.
Oh, he has Wallstead too, eh?
So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, because
and he can
they
send
could ride
guys
Hill.
Ride Hill for 1 year,
Yeah.
and then Wallstead can take over.
Okay, well, let's look at the depth
Good
chart.
job of, very good job of Corey and Adam building their team up, being patient, and having guts to make trades. Like trading Jack Hughes for McCarr. Like, you need some cojones to make that kind of trade.
But it makes sense because their forward core is stacked.
I know, but you
We're-
still you know what I mean? Like, it's
So they took some of their strength from center, right? Because Jack Hughes is a center, I think.
yep.
And they moved him for a defenseman, which makes complete sense when you're trying to level out your team and get where your strengths need to be.
Yep. Oh, McCarr is probably the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah.
So it's
And I don't think that Hughes is the best center in the league. So
no, I'm just saying it was a very good deal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
It would
takes
be the
guts
deal that would
to make that kind of trade, to me.
yes. Yeah. But I was looking at this. This is the top number one line in the league to me. Eichel, Nylander, and Kachuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
wow.
you pair that
Awesome.
with McCarr on defense and you're in trouble. That's a power play that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have trouble with his D. But
Yeah.
his forwards are so good.
He's got Gerard and McCarr, and the rest of his D are I think Chatfield's going to get better. I was really impressed with him in the playoffs for Carolina. So, but he's going to need some help on D.
And Samuelson's a big boy. I think he's like 6'7" or something like that.
Yeah, he is a big boy.
He's a big
Oh.
boy, so
He's got Kurchinski. That should be a guy that comes up.
Korchinski and Broberg
Nice.
should get better this year.
he'll have
He
more
played really
room.
well in the playoffs.
He'll have more room in St. Louis.
Yeah. So
And the old Calgary guy, Jeremy Poirier.
Yeah.
Not sure he's in the NHL anytime soon, but
No, he won't make it. We're too stacked on D. And if it's between him and Solovyov will get it.
hey, Mark, we have a tradition here at Two Bald Guys Talking Hockey that the guest has to go first on announcing his rankings. Starting from the bottom, you say who your eighth place team is.
Okay.
And Jean, I'll tell you mine, and then Jean will tell us both how we're wrong.
yes.
Awesome. Well, I think that we might all be in accordance here. My eighth place team is Edmonton.
Agreed.
I agree. This one was an easy one.
Yeah, I think they lost way too much, didn't replace. I don't know that they're gonna be able to do anything with Lyon. And yeah, they traded Gibson. So
Score down to the studs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that I think that's what he wants. He wants to be eighth. He wants to be last, so
He's rebuilding. He's not looking for it now.
he won't
He's
be
looking for the
sad to hear
future.
us put him 8th. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, 7.
Okay. Do you want me to start with 7th again?
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
you're going first every time. We put the pressure on you.
Cool. Well, 7th I have Anaheim.
I have Anaheim.
So do I.
I think that.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't think they've improved enough to move up in the rankings, and I think other teams kind of moved around them, so they just kind of inevitably end up where they were last year.
Yeah, I think they're better, but just not. They're not ready to be anything better than 7th.
Yeah.
I have them 7. So.
Okay, 6.
All right, and at 6th I have Seattle.
I'm not going to say.
I'm like, is he frozen?
I am choosing not to say who I have at 6 because I don't want
So
to.
I have Seattle also. He got better. He's just in a really tough division.
Yeah,
If he was in the Atlantic, I would have him like fighting for a playoff spot.
yeah.
Had him here.
I would even put him in like maybe better than my team. Like
So
his
just
D's really bad though. Like that's a tough one to overcome. That is.
and unless you have like a Sorokov or Eleniak in net, you need to have some solid D. So
Yeah, and his defense just doesn't do his goaltending any justice. And knowing that now it's just Gibson there instead, well, that was the reason I had Anaheim low. Was because Gibson was in net, so it doesn't change me for at all for me, but it kind of more justifies that their goaltending and defense won't be strong enough to move up.
you
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you a bone here, but maybe there'll be a Ryder Ritchie for Freddie Anderson offer coming your way.
know. That coming from Ottawa.
Well, no, because I don't have Ryder Ritchie. Seattle has Ryder
Seattle
Ritchie.
has Ryder
Okay.
Ritchie. Yeah.
I mean, if I could sneak into Seattle, steal them, throw them in the trunk of my car, and then say, "Hey, I'll send," then we might talk. But I don't think that's allowed in the league rules.
No.
Okay, 5.
All right. So 5, I have the Kings, and I think this is where we start to disagree.
Wow, yes, I have San Jose in 5th place.
I have San Jose also. So Mark, why do you have the Kings so low? Do you hate JL?
Not
Tell
at
me you
all.
hate JL.
Not at all. Quite the contrary. I admire him.
Personal, isn't it?
I don't know that he did enough, and other teams did more around him. And if you look at where he finished with his team, he finished in 3rd last year. And while everybody improved, he kind of just stayed the same, which isn't necessarily bad. And he actually got better on defense because I think he signed Sean Dursey.
Yeah.
But I think like it just comes down to goaltending. I guess Linus Ullmark's good.
Yes,
He's
he
very
is
good.
awesome.
But his backup is what I worry about. Because if we only are able to play our main goalie for X amount of games, or heaven forbid that Ulmer gets injured.
67, 65, 65.
Yeah, 65. So there's still 20 games. 19.
Connor Ingram is pretty good.
I think last year, who do you have as his backup?
Oh, he had Yuso.
Yeah, and I think Huso's better. So I think that factored big time in my decision is just like I don't know that his backup got any better, but his team didn't change. But I think some of the other teams around him changed a little more, got a little better.
Because Ingram had a really good season last year, didn't he? In the where is he now? He was in
JL was eliminated in the first round to Edmonton in 4 straight games.
4 straight games?
Yeah, I remember because I remember sending the guy a message saying, "Your team should not have been swept like that, like that." Like I had no problem with his team losing in the playoffs because Edmonton had a good team and the sim is the sim, but a sweep like that just was like wow.
That's a hard one to deal with in the sim.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
being
that
swept.
was unreasonable.
And why do you guys have San Jose in the spot?
Well, what I think we can do is talk about San Jose. And we can talk about that.
Steve, I think you're out of your speaker range.
Oh, am I? Is
Yeah.
that better? Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just sitting back, getting chill.
I know, eh? Like you're in your lazy boy there.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Like, do you want to talk about San Jose or do you want to wait?
No, go ahead.
I just feel like they're like I think they're on the bubble for making the playoffs. I think when you have Vasilevsky as your goalie, you're always sort of in the running. But if I remember correctly, their D and their bottom six were sketchy.
Yeah.
Well,
I
they have
agree.
Letang, Morrissey, and McDonough for your three with Gooley and Quinn Hughes.
Am I wrong? Am I misremembering? Let me take a look here.
So their D isn't like horrendous.
Quinn Hughes, Letang Morrissey. No, the D is good. Where did I see them?
It was the bottom six forwards. It was the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, because they definitely drop off after what is it, Nietzsche's?
Faxa.
Yeah.
After Faxa, so that gives him 8 forwards, I think. Yeah. He's got 8 forwards, so he's got 2 and 2/3 of a line. And then after that, it's like very weak for me.
Yeah. But goaltending and defense might be enough to get him done if his
And
top
he's got a
six
great top
score
line.
lots of goals.
He's
Because
got a
he's got
great top line.
Kaprizov, he has Miller, Lindholm.
so,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I
On
think
paper, they look good.
Okay, who do you have it for?
At 4, I have San Jose.
Okay, I'm Vegas.
so do I. And you know what, Mark? You might have convinced me to switch Vegas and San Jose.
Fair
No,
enough.
I love Vegas's top line so much.
Yeah.
And Kale McCarr on D. Like they've got in every game they play, or in most games they're gonna play, they're gonna have the best number one line, the best defenseman, and the best goalie. And
yeah. But their D is really, really weak in Vegas.
yes,
And I think Mark convinced me that I had the D in San Jose much worse than it is for some reason. So
and
Yeah,
I
because
guess
I'm looking at
I've found that the D you can get by with a weaker D more than you can get by with a weaker forward. But
so,
Mark,
Yeah, no, I agree. Their D definitely is worse than San Jose's now that I'm looking at it though. And this isn't a shot at Corey and Adam. They're doing a good job with their team. Just when you compare those two teams, and I have them fairly closely ranked. But yeah, no, I agree with you with the forward situation with Vegas.
okay, three,
So at 3, I have Vancouver.
LA.
I have LA.
I just like JL's team. I think JL's like I think they're solid.
So,
And I feel really bad that he was eliminated in 4 games.
so why do you have Vancouver at 3, Mark?
I thought they improved really well. I think that looking at his team, getting Swayman, he added Reinhardt. Sider's really good defensively with Savard. I think they were also one of the ones that had really good defense. Oh yeah, with Romanov. Kochetkov as their backup. I think like he's improved enough, and this is kind of where we differed is because I didn't move LA up because I didn't think they changed enough. I think that Vancouver, San Jose, these guys changed their team enough that it will change the standings. I think you can interchange Vancouver and San Jose for me. Like I don't know if I'm sold either one is going to be 3-4. This division's a hard one to
Yeah.
kind of crack because I feel like once you start getting to the top, they all start to look fairly
Funny
equal.
to me, this was, and this is just, I guess, to me, this was the of all the divisions we looked at, this was probably the easiest for me to go through
Was
top
it?
to bottom.
Yep. Yeah, I have LA. I think that JL has built a good team. They're decent everywhere, and like you had Ingram like as the backup goalie. The last 2 years he had like 907 save percentage in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I think it's his backup is more than adequate for me, and the team is solid all around. So
I can't argue that.
and the top line is awesome. So for
Okay,
LA,
number
so
two.
I have LA at third.
Yeah.
Who do you have at
Number
second,
two.
Mark?
Number 2, I have the Vegas Golden Knights.
Wow.
Vegas at 2.
Yeah, I have Vegas at 2. I think with Markstrom and Hill as a two-headed monster, with their forward group that will easily score on many, many teams. And while Makar just basically being the defense there.
Yes.
I think
I
my
see
only
that
question for
maybe
them is, can the goaltenders stop what the defense can? I think that's just what it's going to be with this team because their forwards are way too good.
Yep. Best top line in the league. Best top line.
Very
Kachuk,
good.
Eichel, and Nylander.
Yeah.
My number 2 being Vancouver.
And my number 2 being Calgary.
I will say this. I don't see a big difference between Vancouver and Calgary. I just found that Connor McDavid could be bigger than than Vancouver's lineup, but Vancouver's got a great team.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you feel bad that you picked somebody for second, but really, is it that bad?
Still
Yeah,
playoff bound.
Exactly.
Still
They
playoff
might
bound.
finish like the three teams in the top 3 teams in the Pacific might finish 1, 2, 3 in the NHL in the DCHL next year or this year by the end of the season. So I just find that for me the defense needs some work in Calgary. He's got 3 good defensemen, but after that there's a drop off. And
Yeah.
there's no drop off in Vancouver for me. So, Mark, who do you have first?
First, I have Calgary.
Calgary.
Yeah.
And Jean, it leaves you with
The Vancouver Canucks
Jean
dethroning.
Brisson is kissing his screen right now.
Yeah, I just think he's built quite the team in
Most
Vancouver.
improved team in the league, and that's saying
Yeah.
something. Because
It's
Montreal's come a long way up, Seattle's come a long way up,
Tampa's come a long way.
Tampa's come a long way up.
yeah. So he's got good depth everywhere. He's got quality everywhere. So amazing job by Jean on building his team, and I think he's going to finish first in the division battle for first in the league.
Okay. Anything else we want to say about the Pacific Division? I think we've covered it pretty
I guess
thoroughly.
it's pretty
Very-
safe to say Pacific's the best in the DCHL.
Yep.
After you guys have done all the series for all the divisions
Top
here.
to bottom,
But I think the
I'd have
top,
to go top to bottom. I'd have to say the Central.
The Central.
yes, but the top end, the
Yeah.
top end of the Metro and the top end of the Pacific
Bring
to
it
me,
on.
are
that-
the top 2 top ends.
Yeah, top 3 and top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess, and so do you think that either the Central or the Metro will take 5 playoff spots as they have? Well, the two extra wild card.
Yes.
And so both the Central and the Metro, you think so?
Yep.
Because I can't see Atlantic
See,
getting one
okay,
again.
but the Central, the problem, I'm not so easily saying yes because Vegas, LA, San Jose, two of those three teams don't make the playoffs seems a little bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah.
And 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 we can look back at the Central, and I look at like I just think it's going to be really close. Those six, like the top four and top four, or top five in both, and combine them together, like that's going to be a tight fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Metro, it's not going to be as the difference between the fifth place team in the Metro and the fourth place team in the Atlantic isn't like I don't think that's as competitive as what the Central and the Pacific will be.
That's fair, and I think the Atlantic will probably be a little more competitive this year too, right? With some of the moves that like you've made, Steve, and
Oh no,
Montreal much
the
better.
Atlantic
Tampa
is
Bay is
not a
much better.
pushover this year.
Boston. I think there's 5 teams that could finish in the top 3 in the Atlantic. You know what? I think that no, I going back. I'm looking back at the divisions now. I think it's going to be 4-4 in the West.
4-4 in the West.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 4-4, but it's going to be 5-3 in the East.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll have
don't
it known
overthink it
Toronto
right now,
hasn't come
John.
close to winning a preseason game.
Don't overthink it now. We got a show next week to do.
I know. I just
We want people coming back because next week, our show next week will put us over 1,000 total views.
no way.
So it's like an anniversary episode.
Hey,
you guys should try and have one.
I mean, it could
from each
conceivably
division.
happen this week, but probably not.
no, probably not.
You guys should try to have one GM from each division on the show.
That'd be fun.
Well, it would be really hard to to talk with
Yeah.
so many people.
You could segment it.
Okay, yeah. Somebody
don't
from
like-
the Pacific comes in, then kick them out. Somebody
Yep.
from the Atlantic, kick them out.
Kick them out, have them have time slots, say be ready, have like a 15-minute chat with them.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
That's not a bad
I'm
idea.
open. I'm open to any ideas. Although I don't know if I want to be sharing so many ideas with a guy that's going to be coming up with his own show and ripping off.
Are you doing your own show, Mark?
So the idea, and Sean Pittsburgh and I have been talking about making a show, but one that doesn't rip you guys off. Because I love watching your show, and I know that your viewers don't want the same regurgitated shit. So the idea is to have something a little different. I mean, obviously, we're all going to talk about draft and, some of the big trades and stuff, but I'm still trying to find that difference so that we're not, so that there's room for both of our shows.
My suggestion would be to do something high quality. Because Jean and I do low quality, and we do it really well.
I can
so
tell
if
you,
come
ours
up
will
with
have
a show that does high quality, we'll have the whole thing covered.
I'll tell you, ours will have a lot of lowbrow comedy and no intro yet. So,
Okay.
you guys do have the best intro in the DCHL.
We have better intro music than 90% of professional podcasts, which I laugh at.
100%. 100%.
I just wish I knew how to set it up properly on my
I agree.
system.
Yes, because
when we
Zach
start
was getting
making the money,
impatient
we're
with
getting a
you earlier.
producer.
Hey, Mark?
I said when we start making money, we're getting a producer.
Exactly.
when you can start
Zach was getting
recording.
impatient with you earlier that you were taking too long to get us started.
Oh God. Yeah, well, sorry.
He just wanted to hear all the nice things we had to say about his team.
Yeah.
Okay. DCHL, I'm telling you now, I am the tech wizard on this show, which anyone who knows me knows that is not a good thing. That just means I'm better than the other guy.
And for reference to the old guys out there, my VCR still flashes 12 o'clock.
The fact that you have a VCR.
How often do you use that VCR? That's what I'm curious. How often do you blow off one of those cassette tapes and just slap it in the VCR?
I know, eh?
We still have our DVD player that we bought back in like the 90s.
Yeah.
That we might use. I think my wife might use it when she's jogging on the treadmill. Like I haven't used it. Okay, so Jean, you wanted to talk about some young kid you were watching.
Yes. And I'm gonna butcher his name. Okay. They say he's 5'10. Okay. But he was a new Ottawa 67's draft pick. He comes from Manitoulin Island. His name is Cone
How do you spell it?
Ishkagogan.
Spell the name?
Kohyn is his first name, and his
Yeah.
last name is Ishkagogan, and it's ESHKAWKOGAN. A like
you retire. There's so much more.
that
There
kid.
will be a video of Mr. Esha Kogan in a second here.
He
There he
is
is.
like, you should see that kid play. Wow. Like you know what's impressive? It's not that he carries the puck end to end because he's 16-year-old, but he's already like on the power play for the 67s as a 16-year-old. He's on the second power play. On first game of the year, Ottawa's trying to score a goal at the end of the game. They've pulled their goalie, and he's on the ice trying to score a goal with Ottawa as a 16-year-old. The most impressive thing for him is that if you go try to rush on his side, he's a right shot defenseman, he will shut you down and take the puck and go back the other way, or shut you down, give the puck to one of his teammates and go back the other way as a 5'10" defenseman. Unbelievable. I couldn't stop watching that guy on Friday night. And the last two
Wow.
Friday nights I went to see them.
I never thought I'd see the day.
5'10" defenseman, and
Yeah, but
I
if he's
cannot
5'10"
stop raving
now,
about
he'll be over 6 feet in the NHL. Like he's still
Yeah.
he's still a
But
kid.
like, I'm telling you, when Ottawa drafted him, like, I'm like, what the hell? Because he was listed as 5'8" back then. It's like, what the hell are they doing drafting a 5'8" defenseman with with their first round pick, which was the last pick in the first round? And I'm like, this is stupid. And then I've seen that kid play. Unbelievable. So watch him if you get a chance.
So he's 2026
Ottawa
draft
Senator
eligible, right?
DCHL.
He is a late draft pick, so a late birthday. So he'll be 2027.
2027.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Which is good for him because he'll have a chance to grow and get stronger.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if he's a first round pick.
I was gonna say, do you think he has first round potential?
Right now,
Who
I'm
knows?
telling you, it's I don't remember the last time I got excited this excited about a player when I first seen him twice. So
Well, there you go. DCHL. You just seen who's on the 2026 draft board in
2027.
2027. Sorry.
Remember this.
Seattle traded their 2027.
So
Edmonton.
and he was better than Henry Muse, who just got drafted in the third round by Calgary.
In the game, he was better than Henry Muse.
Yep. To me, he was better than Henry Muse.
And well, at this point, a year ago, I was really big on Henry Muse. I was really big on Henry Muse. He fell down on my board.
Is amazing.
Well, there was some time where Henry Muse was supposed to go at the end of the first, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He dropped an entire 2 rounds or something.
Yeah. Last year he was in last summer when the season started at this time, I think. He was like a mid first round pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he just kept dropping as the season was going on.
It's the Wheeler curse. Scott Wheeler put him too low on the board and everybody else just followed along.
No, because what's funny is Jean, I remember sending Jean a message about, because I know Jean goes to the 67s games, and I sent him a message saying, because I'd started scouting guys and I'd been watching Henry Muse. And I'm like, hey, Henry Muse. And John's like, at this point in the season, early on, he was like, yeah, pretty good. But Jean was already pointing to red flags.
Yeah.
And the more the season went on, like you said, the more these red flags became bigger and bigger. And like a year ago today, I would have been taking him. It was pick 17. Like that, I always figured I had the 17th pick. So I was thinking Henry Muse at 17. And then by the time the draft came up, it was like, okay, if he's still there in the third round, maybe.
So are you paying Jean for your scouting or?
Well, I think Jean stuff too. Like,
He is. He gives me homemade jar of
yeah,
blueberry
raspberry jam.
Oh, awesome.
Blueberry
Raspberry
homemade
jam.
jars.
Well, there you go.
Oh God, yeah. Okay. Well, I also point out certain prospects to you too. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
discuss it, but what's funny is Jean and I have very differing. We have very differing likes and dislikes on players.
Yeah.
He likes size and physicality more than I do. I like skill and shiftiness, I guess, like that.
Yeah.
The skating and the skill more. I value that more, I think, than Jean.
So
His
you're a
team
little
will
more
always
new
kick the
age
shit
and
out of
Jean's
my
a
team.
little more old school.
Old timer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
old school.
Okay.
The large, big
Old-timer.
fellas. Yeah.
Mark, I sent you a message. You saw the pass that Andrew Basham made to Dryden Hunt to set
Yep.
up that breakaway. Tell me that wasn't an NHL level play.
He'll definitely make it. Probably not now though. Like
Well, he's not. No, they sent him back this year. They sent
Yeah.
him back, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
he's
But
the thing is he's got a lot of players to combat with right now to get in there because they're having
Yes.
trouble fitting Coronado and Peltier. And I know you're high on Peltier, so you want him to make.
Okay, I am hopeful on Peltier. Last year, my height on 2 years ago, Peltier was an NHL player. Last year, he was not.
No, and they're saying at most he's going to be a fourth liner this year.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it. As
they're
long
saying
as
at
he's
most this year, fourth line. They want to try and get Coronado a little higher up in the lineup because he doesn't play that fourth line role very well. So
he was always at best a middle six to
yeah,
me. So I need him in the NHL this year. Like he needs to be in the NHL. And he needs to play better than he did last year. Because last year he was lost. He was lost.
yeah, he was injured though for a lot of last year, wasn't he?
Yes.
So
He
so
got
coming
injured in training camp and missed like the first 2 months.
yeah, so
Came
coming
back for a
back into
couple
a
games.
season almost halfway done is a hard thing to do too, especially for a
Yeah.
young player. So
Yeah, and there were some family illness issues. I think his dad passed away or something. Like it was a hard year for him. But I mean, this year he's just got to be better. He's got to be better. He's somewhere on my list. Or is he? He's on my second line. See, let's there. See,
yep.
second line. There we go. Zach, there you go. That's how I do it. I know Jean has sent you how he does it. But that's
Honestly,
my
I have the same sort of thing going on. I have a whiteboard and eraser handy.
so, and I haven't taken Knazko off, who I just traded this week for a 5th-round pick. So
Zach, I keep a couple of other extra markers handy if you're going to do that route. Just the amount you write in erase.
and you know who I haven't put up there, Mark, is Cole Lind, who I don't know how to evaluate yet.
Cole Lind.
Yeah, well, he's been injured a lot, so
Yeah.
I got him from you for a 3rd-round pick, if you recall.
Yep. Kalen Lind.
Kalen Lind.
Yeah.
Kalan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate guys when they get hurt though, because like he still has that potential. It's like, can he avoid missing tons of time?
Yeah. Okay, boys. Anything we want to add? What's the score of the hockey game, Jeff?
Pittsburgh won 5-2.
Okay. Who was in net for Ottawa? Don't tell me
Forsberg.
Okay, then I don't care. Okay, they can score as many goals as they want.
Yeah.
It's
It's
preseason. They could score as many goals as they want anyways.
Yeah. So
Well,
Okay.
guys, thank you for
Mark?
having me on here.
No,
was a lot
thank
of
you for
fun.
joining us. and bringing your own special brand of knowledge and expertise.
Thanks, if that's what you want to call it.
Well, it's about time we brought some of that to the show. To the show.
Now you guys got plenty of that. You're good.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it here unless somebody wants to say something.
No,
Nope.
I've said all the smart things I can say.
That's it for today.
Yep.
Okay. Ciao.